Here's something that might make you pretty mad, at least it did for me. It is about the esports scene for Hearthstone next year. I'm mainly going to cover Battlegrounds because I don't really know too much about how Hearthstone Masters works and the standard tournaments. But I went into the season grinding, right? Like, I'm streaming long hours. I really want to try and push for top 16 to maybe qualify for Lobby Legends this month or next month, doesn't matter. They changed the system in a crazy way that we're going to cover. Whether or not it's good, you can make out for yourself in the comments. Well, let's take a look. So it starts off, are you ready for the 10th year of competitive Hearthstone? This year is going to look a bit different from the previous few, so let's get into what is coming to Hearthstone Esports. Heading into the 2023 season, we have been evaluating the state of our competitive program and the best format for it to take moving forward. Last fall, we began thinking about setting Hearthstone Esports up. This is basically just a bit of introduction, I guess. Like, they're trying to soften the blow, balancing the realities of an ever-changing production landscape, sizing the program according to its audience. This is all just terms for saying we had to make changes because things are not going too well. This year, we'll see a total of 7 events, 3 Master Tour seasonal championships leading into the 2023 World Championship, as well as 3 standalone Battlegrounds Lobby Legends tournaments. In case you guys remember, we almost had a Lobby Legends every single month last year. I think we had like 10 of them, I'm not 100% sure, but that is more than half now. All broadcast on YouTube and Twitch. So, okay, less tournaments, but does that mean that the qualification is better, right? Or does that mean that the prize pool is better? There has to be something that changes as well over there. So qualifying for each event will take place through their respective ladders across 3-month seasons. Each Masters Tour and Lobby Legends will feature 16 of the top players based on competitive points earned. So you still have 16 players, which is also the amount of players that were able to compete previously, but now it's only 16 players that get to compete every 3 months instead of every month, so it's even more hard to get in here. Earned through monthly standings. The top 4 point earners in each region will receive invites, followed by the top 4 total point earners regardless of region that had not yet received an invite. Also, one thing I did not notice is that it is the top 16 total, meaning that it is actually the top 4 from each region. So it's now top 4 NA, top 4 EU, and then there's also the top 4 total points earners. So it is actually even harder to get in. So basically, you basically count up the points that you earn every month, and then the top point earners qualify. So that means you need to be super highly ranked multiple months in a row in order to qualify for one event. So instead of just being able to qualify for one Lobby Legends like you would previously, which is what I was trying to do. I was grinding like 1 month to try and, you know, see if I could get a high rank, maybe compete, because I don't have the time to grind every single month. Because I'm a content creator. I make videos on the side, I do other stuff as well. And especially if, I mean, you do this as a hobby or for fun, you'll have a lot more grinding to go than last year. This is, by the way, how the point system works. If you're rank 1, you got 8 points, 2 to 5, you got 7, 6 to then 6, 11 to 25. And it seems nice that they're going up to rank 100. So even if you're top 100, you're still earning points, but it does not matter. Like, if you're rank 100, you get 1 point. If you're 1 point, you're never gonna be able to compete, you know? Obviously, the people that are constantly top 20 are gonna be able to get enough points to get into the tournaments. You're never, you know, if you have 1 point or 2 points or 3 points, that is not gonna matter. So it seems like it's inviting way more people to compete, but it's the complete opposite. Let's say you are rank 1 month, right? You get 8 points, but then next couple months you have school coming up, or you have too much work, and then you get 1 point every time, or even no points. You're not able to compete in any tournaments. Some might say it's more fair that the hard grinders for multiple months get to compete, but yeah, that is gonna be a select few. It is still just 16 players, so they're not really widening the pool of people that are maybe really good at the game but don't have the time to grind to actually get into tournaments like these. Again, like mentioned previously, it is actually now a smaller pool of people that get to compete. So I really wish there was a different way to qualify, instead of just ladder rankings, instead of just purely putting time into the game, but actual skill being important, maybe qualification rounds, stuff like that. I don't know. But this is not where it ends. So there is a qualification period now, January through March. And yeah, I mean, there's 3 basically. Now for the money, okay, this is also pretty important. As standalone events, each Battlegrounds Lobby Legends will have a 50,000 prize pool. Standard players will be competing for 1 of 8 spots, and they get about $500,000. So Standard still has a lot more money in it than Battlegrounds. Clearly Battlegrounds tournaments are not doing well, and I think this was the same prize pool than last year. So we only have 3 tournaments now instead of like 10, meaning there's way less money involved right now within Lobby Legends. Now, this is the funny part, okay? I was scrolling through this and there's some questions in here, but they're like asking important questions, but let's just look at the answers. How come there are only 3 Battlegrounds Lobby Legends tournaments? We want to focus on one main Battlegrounds event per expansion. That does not answer the question. This does not explain how come there are only 3. How come? You're literally just stating what the current situation is. You're stating that there are only Battlegrounds tournaments for every expansion, but you're not explaining why. You're not explaining how come. I don't know why they added this in here. Like, this is obvious. How come that 3 Master Tour events don't even have prize pools? Apparently, there's now Master Tour events without prize pools. Again, I don't follow standard tournaments. I don't know how they work, but that seems ridiculous. Tournaments without prize pools. With players having a direct qualification path to the World Championship by playing ladder, we want to prioritize rewarding the most consistent players over the course of the whole year. Okay, now does this mean that Hearthstone is declining / failing? Probably something that a lot of people are thinking. The current scope of Hearthstone Esports is separate from the success of Hearthstone. We are thrilled with the upcoming content plans for the game and can't wait for players to get to see what is being worked on in the years to come. This is such a non-answer. This literally does not explain this whatsoever. This is, I don't know why this is here. Like this last sentence, we are thrilled with the upcoming content plans for the game and can't wait what is being worked on for the years to come. You could put this literally everywhere. This does not answer this. You can literally put this at the end of any patch note, at the end of any question here, and it's gonna fit just as well. This is the most PR BS that I've seen, and it is such a filler statement. If you can't notice, this is a little bit frustrating for me because, well, obviously Hearthstone Battlegrounds is the heartbeat of this channel, and seeing it being neglected like this, or it feels at least to me like it's being neglected and it's not doing well, it just sucks because that means that the future is very worrying. Does this mean Hearthstone Esports is being cancelled in 2024? We don't have anything to share. They don't have anything to share. They don't say yes or no. None of these answers like are yes or no, or are actually explaining what is happening. Like again, is this because of the low viewership from being exclusive to YouTube the last 3 years, which is what a lot of people expect? And the answer is, our goal is to balance the cost of running esport productions while taking into account the size of the competitive community. Bro, thank you for the info. Now that Hearthstone Esports can be on Twitch, why not increase funding to bring back players? Okay, let's find out why they're not increasing funding to bring players back. We're excited for the Masters Tours to come back to Twitch after 3 years and are eager to see what our audience there is like. The new program is sized for sustainability as Hearthstone Esports turns 10. This is the only actual answer that they give, it seems like. Is the prize pool reduction because of the loss of NetEase as a Chinese publisher? Because if you don't know, there have been issues, and I don't think Hearthstone is available anymore for Chinese players. They just say no. So we actually got a no here. Finally, an actual just straight up answer to a question. This is also actually very worrying because last question, can players residing in mainland China compete? Players residing in mainland China will not be eligible to participate. So there's a huge part of the player base being cut out. Like, it's actually, Hearthstone is massive in China. So yeah, this is super worrying for the future. This seems like one big PR stunt at the end. Like, none of these questions are actually being answered. They just pose it because it's their way of answering the question. So that way, if on social media we, the content creators or people, are outraged or ask these questions, they can just post this and they can just say, see, we answered these questions already about Hearthstone declining and failing, without actually answering it, but just to have like a way to say, hey, we answered it, you don't have to bring it up. That's what this feels like. I don't know, maybe some people will like the system more. Maybe people like being rewarded for consistency more and being top point earner for multiple months in a row. But I think it is going to look out a lot of players, a lot of people that are good at the game but might not be able to put the crazy amount of time in, or be able to play every single month as well, because that is mandatory right now. We shall see how this evolves. Let me know what you think down below, and that was the end of this update. Have a good day.